One of the highlights of the day was the introduction of potential new Achebes, Soyinkas, and Chimamandas. These young lads took part in a national creative writing competition, and they were the best. This young lady came tops, and she is showing all the signs of a future leader and a skilled writer.
After dousing me in a bucket of cold water, he left.
Meet Funke Olufon, a 14-year-old writer and an SS2 student who just won the annual National Flipbook Creative Writing Competition. A writing talent like her must have started reading early, right?
When I was very young, I didn't really enjoy it because I found it quite disturbing. I was given books without pictures, and to me, I just felt it would be a waste of time. Until a book was introduced to me by Brian Drax. It's called Malfox. This one, they had pictures, but it had talking animals without humans inside. So I really enjoyed it, and it piqued my interest in reading.
Oh, and how has it been since then?
It's been great. I read different types of stories by different authors, talented authors, bestsellers, and I really enjoy it.
But people say her generation does not read.
If people are not encouraged well enough to read, they are less likely to pick up a book to read it. If they are not told about different experiences and not given a cliffhanger that they should check a book out to read it, they are less likely to do so. So they have to be given an incentive to just pick up a book to read and enjoy it.
Creative writers often sweat over their plots. What's her award-winning one about?
The theme for this story is child abuse. And I didn't know what exactly to write about it at first. But based on various topics I've heard forms of child abuse, child trafficking, human trafficking, things like that. So I decided to base my story off two. That is child hawking, selling things on the street at a very young age, and child prostitution. So I didn't put any other thing. Those were just the two main ideas in my story. This story is about a girl. Her name is Chidima. And she has a father, is quite a sadist. So her mother died, and because of that, he became bitter against the whole world. But instead of him to love his daughter, he decided to take her out into the harsh reality of life, and then he used her to sell wares. To him, it's just a way of making money. To him, it doesn't mean anything, especially if he's not the one doing it. But as a way of making faster money, he decided that she would be a child prostitute. He'll give her skimpy dresses to wear. Before that, he'll beat her into submission, and then she'll have to do her job. When she's done, he'll collect the money and lock her in the basement. That is practically her home. He will continue this time after time, and he takes pleasure in watching her broken, unhappy. So to him, it's just his way of life, and he's not going to change it.
An intriguing plot, it seems. How did it end?
Oh, at the end, you can't decide whether the girl will die or the father will die, or the girl will live or the two of them will live, or if they will forever be against each other. It's just, and you have to draw your own conclusions from the ending.
Why did she write about child molestation?
A lot of times, during classes, people usually bring up the topic. It's either today a child is raped by her father, or a child was being killed in an accident because he was running after a vehicle trying to sell his or her wares. So that just gave me the incentive that I'm going to write on something like that, on child prostitution and child hawking. And also because what I felt I was writing, especially about child prostitution, to me, not every other person would have focused solely on it. So I decided to add it into the themes. I was woken up the usual way, with a kick to my ribs. It hurt. It hurt too much to scream. I just stayed in a fetal position, whimpering. If I begged the sadist I called my father to have mercy, he will only take sick pleasure in my squeals and pleas for him to stop. After dousing me in a bucket of cold water, he left. To think that this is just the beginning of my day had me shuddering in fear. I heard his footsteps thundering back to my basement, my room. Chinaman, get up this instant. You have a client to tend to. He said this with a sick smile on his face. My body stilled with terror. Papa, please. Don't make me do anything with that man. I beg you. He just grinned, threw a skimpy negligee at me, and snarled, "You do as I say, you wench. Do what you must and bring back the money I want. You know the consequences of complaining." That shut me up instantly. I obeyed him. I had to do so if I felt like seeing another day. But still, I'd rather hawk on the streets than sell my body to an old shameless man, a 60-year-old man, 45 years my senior. I walked up the stairs, my movement stiff, calculated and cautious. Stopping at the door, I took in a deep breath, squared my shoulders, and prepared myself to be groped, insulted, and harassed. His Highness, King Amechi, smiled at me, his teeth stained with betel nuts, most of his dentition gone. I shuddered in disgust. He took it as a shiver of pleasure and held me on his lap. My stomach turned with revulsion. Bile crept up my throat. I tried to make myself comfortable and prepared myself for the beginning of my harassment, the groping. His followers kept on hailing him, encouraging him. I almost cried in disgust, hate, and self-loathing. I plastered on my happiest smile and kept still. Feeling satisfied with himself for the moment, he let me go, but not after throwing my pay at his feet, making me bend down in a submissive manner. I hated him, myself, and my father at that moment. Why couldn't my father just let me hug drinks as usual? I smiled grimly to myself, knowing the answer immediately.